The Fabricated Records, written by Adeline Vane, narrated by David Martin. Prologue. The letter arrived on a Tuesday, forwarded from her previous address by someone who'd bothered to update the records. Helen recognized the handwriting before she saw the signature. Dr. Margaret Fenwick's script was as precise as her taxonomy work, each letter formed with the same careful attention she gave to botanical classifications. She opened it standing at her new desk in the Medical College Archive, a smaller room than she'd had at the Linnean Society, but tidier, with better light. The head librarian here valued accuracy over pedigree. It was enough. The note was brief. The Royal Society had withdrawn Dr. Haverstock's grant application following methodological review. No formal findings published, no public censure. These matters were handled quietly among gentlemen, even when the gentlemen in question had fabricated their data. A fellowship had been established for the early career researchers demonstrating field rigor. Fenwick had been asked to serve on the selection committee. "I thought you should know," she'd written. "What we did mattered, even if no one will say so directly." Helen folded the letter and placed it in her desk drawer, beneath the Institute's cataloging guidelines and her reference from Mr. Gaines. She would keep it, not for vindication, she'd learned not to expect that, but as a record. Someone had noticed, someone had acted. The work had consequences beyond her termination and Haverstock's quiet exit. That would have to be sufficient. She returned to the manuscript she'd been indexing, a treatise on chloria transmission that required careful cross-referencing of case studies and water sources. The author's methods were sound. The data was messy in the way real data should be, full of inconsistencies and complications that resisted easy summary. Helen appreciated the honesty in that. She picked up her pen and continued her notes. The work, as always, continued. 3 months earlier. Chapter 1. Helen Cartwright arrived at the Linnean Research Society 10 minutes before 9 o'clock on a Monday morning in late April, carrying a leather satchel that contained 2 pencils, a notebook, and the letter of appointment she received 3 weeks prior. The building occupied a narrow corner lot in Bloomsbury, its facade distinguished from neighboring townhouses only by a brass plaque and an air of deliberate reserve. She walked past it twice on Saturday to ensure she wouldn't be late on her first day. The entrance hall was paneled in dark wood and smelled faintly of pipe tobacco and preserved specimens. A staircase ascended to the left, doors opened to the right. Helen waited, uncertain whether to announce herself or proceed, until a middle-aged man in a brown suit emerged from one of the side rooms carrying a ledger. "Miss Cartwright?" He had the practiced neutrality of someone accustomed to managing arrivals. "I'm Oliver Gaines, Administration. Sir Philip asked me to show you round before he receives you." She followed him through a warren of interconnected rooms. The library occupied the ground floor southern exposure, floor-to-ceiling shelves, reading tables arranged beneath tall windows, the particular hush of a space where knowledge was stored rather than produced. Gaines gestured toward the collections with economy rather than pride. "Members have borrowing privileges. You'll track loans in the register. Anything pre-1800 requires Sir Philip's written approval." They climbed to the first floor. More shelves, narrower corridors. He indicated a room where long tables held botanical specimens under glass. Another where framed lithographs documented decades of expeditions. "Fellows use these for meetings. You'll schedule them and ensure someone locks up after. The society doesn't employ a porter." Her office was at the corridor's end, smaller than she'd hoped, but adequately lit. A desk, 2 chairs, filing cabinets that looked recently dusted. Stacks of correspondence occupied one corner, neatly tied with string, but clearly awaiting attention. A calendar on the wall showed May's symposium dates circled in red ink. "Previous secretary left in February," Gaines said, depositing the ledger on her desk. "Some backlog, as you see.